Hey everybody. Today we're talking about something a little different. First off, I'm not going to talk about running an 8K this morning because I didn't run an 8K this morning. You see, here of late, I've sort of realized that no matter what I do, even consecutively running 5 miles a day, I couldn't break the 169, 170 weight that I've been stuck at. And I couldn't get my mind over it because I was just thinking of terms of, calories in versus calories out. Even with days where I've not strictly followed keto or anything like that, I know that my caloric intake is way below my output through that 5 miles a day. I track it through my Fitbit, through the Runtastic app. Like, I'm burning at least 700 calories just in that run, and that's not including the rest of the calories I burn throughout the remainder of my day by being up and active. So I couldn't get my mind over why I was stuck at that weight. And then I was reading up on something, and it kind of hit me. This article is talking about training for a marathon, and specifically improving your marathon times. And they were talking about how if you train for a marathon by running that equivalent distance day after day after day after day, you're going to improve for a good bit. But then there's going to come a time around the 7 week mark when you're going to find that your times aren't really improving anymore. You've kind of hit that wall, and if anything, you kind of slide back a little bit in your pace time, which was really symbolic of what I've been experiencing when I've been reporting my pace times here. When I first started out, I was at like a 47 or 48. I can't remember the last time I've been at a 47 or 48 for the whole 5 miles. It's been 50s, and then it's been slowly creeping up to, 51, 52 minutes. And I've just been stuck there, and it's like no matter what, I can't shake it. All it is I'm in a plateau. I'm in a plateau with my running, and I'm in a plateau with my diet. And I've experienced plateaus before. I'm 100% familiar with how I deal with them, especially during diet. But it just didn't occur to me in this scenario. So that's what I'm going to do now. I'm going to talk about how I'm going to break out of this plateau. So starting with the 8K a day, there's no way I'm going to do that anymore if that's going to keep me from breaking out of that plateau. So I'm going to go back to doing what I did during training when I was gearing up for the Kavanaugh Killer, which was swapping off between duration running and, well, back then I did HIIT, or high intensity interval training. But now I could literally do whatever I wanted. If I wanted to do weights or sprints, which I would just, like, instead of doing 5 miles, do like 1.5 miles and just go for speed. And then that in turn is going to shock my system, right? Because I'm not going to know what's coming to me. And that's been the problem so far. Is my body's gotten comfortable running 5 miles. Remember when I said that I didn't really feel it as much anymore and I could put myself on autopilot? I think that was my body's way of letting me know that, hey, I know what's coming now every day. And if you know anything about training, whether it's weights or cardio, you know that you constantly have to keep your body and your brain guessing at what you're going to do next. And that's how you grow and get faster. So that's what I'm going to do here. It'll probably be a mixture of duration mixed with sprints, mixed with weights, and possibly putting some HIIT workouts back in there, because I really like the way HIIT workouts make me feel. Transitioning then into breaking my diet plateau. So I have been doing this carb keto back and forth thing because of my running, right? And I've been trying to experiment with how carbs are affecting me, and then running in ketosis. And I feel like my body's just confused right now. It doesn't know whether to use fats for energy or carbs for energy. To resolve that, I've decided that I'm going to do something I've done before, which is a hard reset, prolonged 72-hour fast. And that means I'll just be consuming water or anything under 10 calories, like black coffee. is fine. I didn't do that this morning, but if I have to kind of get me through, sure. But like I said, 72-hour fast starting this morning. So today is Sunday, so it'll end on, should be Tuesday night when I break that fast. And if I get to Tuesday night and I'm still not and I still haven't felt like I've broken through that, I may extend it one day further. Probably not, but if I have to, I'm comfortable doing that. Now, that does affect how I train, which you could probably guess, because if your body's, in this fasted state, it can be a little weaker. But I've learned how to train fasted. One, you don't go, if you're doing weights, you don't go for big gains. You don't go for power lifts. You keep it really light and simple. Running, I haven't experimented fasted yet, but I'm assuming it would kind of be the same. I wouldn't do a bunch of sprint training. I would probably keep it kind of relatively short and easy, But that combined with my training, I think that's going to be enough. It's certainly been enough in the past to break through any weight plateaus that I've ever been stuck at. So, after that 72-hour fast, the cool thing about those is your body's completely cleaned out. And then you get to decide what you introduce first. Because what you introduce first to your body is what it's going to choose to run off of. And in the past, that's been very good for me and very bad for me. Because after 72 hours, you can only imagine that you may really want to dig into a cheeseburger. I've done that before. The only problem is, then my body was wanting more and more and more and more of that. It's like this little munchkin right here. If the first solid foods we introduced her to were Twinkies and Ho-Hos, well, guess what? Here in about 15 years, if you tried to hand her a salad, she's going to laugh in your face and knock it off her plate, because that's the first thing that was introduced to her system as far as like real food goes. Same for me. So if I do this 72-hour fast, follow all the way through, and then begin by introducing greens and green smoothies, which I picked up this great book at the store while we were out yesterday, and it's got all these great different types of kale smoothies and stuff like that. So I'm excited for that. They looked really, really delicious. Along with smoothies, I have also started implementing multivitamins back into my daily routine. So the thing I like about the multivitamins is it's actually 3 little gummies, which are totally not like pills, but they have almost everything that I would normally take individually. So it's taking that 15-20 pill count down to 3 gummies at that. And by the way, if you're not taking a multivitamin and you kind of find yourself sometimes feeling lethargic or mood swingy and you can't really explain why, chances are there's probably some sort of vitamin that you're not getting enough of in your daily diet, because most of us don't get the recommended daily doses of vitamins, not all of them, throughout our daily diets. So, something to keep in mind. I didn't believe it, and then I started doing it and noticed the difference right away. Lastly, new job is coming up in less than a week. It's going to be about 4 days, and I'm going to be in a classroom teaching. And I've been talking myself around it to have a positive attitude going into it. I've also had my stress dreams already. And they're just your pretty typical, in my dream, I dream that I'm an hour late for class, and I'm rushing to get there, and I get there and the class is already over, and and you feel that in the pit of your stomach, and it's awful. And you can't avoid those dreams, but you can avoid how you react to them and how you let them control you. I'm pretty used to stress dreams, it's because it's just a byproduct of coming into something that I don't know, that's completely new, and just that unknown territory for me. So, I'm not freaking out about it, and I think with this, as weird as it sounds, with this prolonged fast, it's not so much, it is a very physical thing, but it's also a mental thing especially once you get past that 48-hour mark. It's just like gives you a new sense of mental fortitude, and it really makes other things like the new job seem kind of minuscule when you can convince yourself to go like 3 days without food. Then other things seem less dramatic and less of like end of the world emergency. So overall, I'm just psyched for this reset and see what it's going to do for my body. I'm still doing my goals trackers and everything else, and so I'm going to keep with that, and hopefully with this fast, everything just gets stronger and more concrete, and I'll be reporting to you each day to let you know how I'm progressing. So until then, I hope you're kicking ass at your own goals, and I'm going to see you soon. And have a happy Memorial Day tomorrow if you're in the U.S.